2 minutes, China Airlines Flight 006 drops 10 kilometers through the clouds.
Airspeed 270, 280, 290.
The plane begins to tear itself apart as it spirals towards the sea.
10,000 feet. Emergency, emergency.
This is a true story. The reconstructions are based on original cockpit voice recordings and eyewitness accounts.
February the 19th, 1985. A China Airlines flight cruises across the Pacific to Los Angeles. By now, the plane is nearing the coast of California. Soon after, the plane runs into some stiff winds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We're experiencing some light air turbulence. Please fasten your seatbelt.
The autopilot is set to keep the plane flying at 470 kilometers an hour. But with the wind blowing hard, it's increasingly difficult to maintain the speed. For the crew, the bumpy ride suddenly gets more worrying.
Engine 4 is giving us weak thrust.
We're losing speed.
In the cockpit, the strange situation suddenly gets much worse.
Engine 4 flamed out.
The fourth engine stops working completely.
Oakland Center.
Dynasty 006, requesting new altitude.
Dynasty 006, stand by.
As the crew try to restart their engine, their plane slowly begins to roll to the right.
Dynasty 006, you're cleared to flight 240.
As the plane continues to turn and slow down, it's in danger of stalling. Hoping to increase his speed, Captain Ho tries pushing the plane's nose down. Nothing the crew does seems to help. Their jet is banking more and more steeply.
I'm disengaging autopilot.
For the first time, Captain Ho takes manual control of the plane. He struggles with the controls, but the plane has veered into thick cloud, and he can't see the horizon as he tries to keep his jet level.
It's going out of limits.
Just minutes after their fourth engine stopped working, the China Airlines flight suddenly stalls and begins falling from the sky. China Airlines Flight 006 is out of control and hurtling towards the ocean. The crew are stunned, blindsided by their jet's bizarre behavior.
Dynasty 006, Oakland Center, how do you hear me?
Airspeed 270, 280,
Dynasty 006, Oakland Center, how do you hear me?
The G-forces are so powerful that the flight engineer is pinned to the control pedestal.
Dynasty 006, Oakland Center, do you copy? You need to see this.
In Oakland, air traffic control spots the plane's sudden descent. In a matter of seconds, the plane falls almost 3,000 meters. In the cabin, the G-forces are punishing. The plane is about to exceed its maximum speed.
approaching VMO.
Tumbling madly through the clouds, the 747 finally starts to pull out of its nosedive. As the plane rights itself, the G-forces change direction. The passengers are pressed to the floor, feeling 5 times their normal weight. As the crew struggles to regain control of the plane, it begins to slow down. The jet is still dropping, but not as fast. This could be the crew's chance to regain control. After tumbling 3,000 meters in 30 seconds, the jumbo jet plunges again into another free fall.
Dynasty 006.
With the crews struggling to control the plane, 6 separate calls from air traffic control go unanswered. The stress of the dive tears the landing gear doors off the plane. In less than a minute, the plane drops 6 kilometers. With no visible horizon line, Captain Ho doesn't know which way is up.
SBMO.
Without a reference, he can't stop the plane from spinning.
Emergency. Emergency.
After blindly plunging thousands of meters, the plane finally breaks free from cloud.
Altitude 12,000 feet.
As he struggles for control, Captain Ho has only 30 seconds before his crippled plane smashes into the ocean.
I can see the horizon.
For the first time since beginning his harrowing descent, the captain can now use the horizon line as a reference in leveling the plane. It's a race against time, and the plane starts to win.
ADI is coming back.
As the plane finally begins to level, the attitude indicators return to normal.
ADI's coming in.
More importantly, as mysteriously as the incident began, 3 of the plane's engines regain power.
Engines 1, 2, and 3 are coming back.
Once again, the flight engineer tries to reignite the 4th engine. But this time,
Engine 4 reignited.
for the first time in minutes, the plane is flying under control.
They saved the airplane. They pulled the airplane out of this acrobatic maneuver. That was a masterpiece of flying.
Dynasty 006 fell off my screen, but she's back now.
A new controller, Brian Campbell, has taken over control of Dynasty 006.
Dynasty 006, Oakland Center, do you hear me?
Oakland Center. Dynasty 006. We're declaring an emergency. We request a direct route
To San Francisco.
Dynasty 006, Oakland Center, you are now cleared. You are free to descend at pilot's discretion.
Captain Ho not only has injuries on board, the plane itself has been severely damaged. On the ground, the full extent of the damage to the plane can be seen.
Parts of the entire tailplane at the end were ripped off.
24 passengers have minor injuries. Only 1 requires hospitalization, but is soon released. A near disaster was avoided.
When something happens to your airplane, you need to save the airplane and you need to save the passengers, and that's what they did.
The pilot saved our lives. He got us into it, but he got us out of it.
And perhaps there was one other hero that day, the Boeing 747 itself. It was put through maneuvers and stresses that far outweighed its known limits. And yet, despite it all, the aircraft survived and landed safely.